Hey guys, it's Brianna here. So I want to give you a quick apology. Just kind of like jump right into that. Recently, I haven't been very clear. I haven't been very clear as to what I'm promoting, and I'll explain that why. But first, I want to get into like a quick apology and just say, I'm sorry if you got confused. If you're on my list, you've been on my list for a while, and or maybe you're just relatively new and you're just recently getting my emails, and it seemed like you had gone through something and then you were getting promoted with something else. If that is the case for you, then I'm very sorry. I did not mean for that to happen. In fact, it's just a funny marketing blunder on my end. I had all of this traffic or all of these people coming to my website, to my capture page, and in turn, they were actually going somewhere else inside of my back office, inside of my autoresponder and stuff like that. So when I figured this out, I immediately stopped and I just directed everybody to a webinar, and it was just kind of done. But for those of you who didn't see that webinar, this is just me coming out and saying, I'm sorry. So that being said, I want to give you a quick lesson on the power of staying focused and what would have happened if I had, all of my focus, there. So what I just started reading this book. The book's called E Squared by Pam Grout. Really, really good book. I highly recommend it. And it's basically 9 do-it-yourself energy tricks. And like, if you don't believe in the law of attraction or anything like that, I challenge you to read that book and still not believe in it. I really do, because this book has just been absolutely incredible to me. And I think it's the second exercises in this book. Let me just flip through and see. It's called the Volkswagen Jetta principle. So it's basically goes off and says, it's all about remaining focused on what you have in your life. And it gives you a couple of examples in the book. So like, for instance, the example that it gives in the book is like, have you ever like wanted to buy a car and like and like you wanted to buy it, and then as soon as you drive it off the lot, you see that car, that same make and model, like everywhere. You just see it and you wanted to be unique about it, but now you see it everywhere. Well, that's basically the principles that it gets into this book and into that particular chapter, is that everything you focus on, you draw into your life. And that could be negative or positive. And I've gone into this in a couple of previous videos, but this book actually really, really explains it a lot better than I have in previous videos. So I highly recommend you get this book. And I will give you an example from my life and why this pertains to what I said in the beginning as the apologies and stuff like that. So I'll get into all that, and it'll be a nice big loop for you. The author, her friend was at a bus station, and she happened to be watching this woman struggle with like all these heavy packages, and she had like 3 or 4 bags, and she was like complaining and being really like snotty and mean and stuff like that, and just being really, really negative. And she was struggling with the packages, complaining how no one would help her, yada, yada, yada. And the author's friend would have felt a little bit more, bad for her if she wasn't complaining so much. She would have actually gone and helped her if she wasn't complaining. So basically, what her biggest frustration was, the woman with all the packages, was that she was complaining that the bus was late. Well, she was so busy complaining about how many packages she had, and she was so negative and being so frustrated for no apparent reason other than the fact that she had overpacked, that she had missed the bus 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. It was so far out of her energy sphere that she didn't even see it. And I'll get you, like, still don't believe me? Like, I'll give you an example from my own life and how that something similar happened to me. I mentioned in a couple of videos, if you've seen my other stuff, you know that recently, excuse me, in the beginning of this year and towards the end of last year, I was kind of, in this emotional funk and I couldn't figure it out. So I was going through this kind of like shift, I believe. I believe that that's what it was, where I was kind of doing everything backwards. And I've gone into this in a couple of other videos, and this is going to get good. This is going to get good, so stick around. So I'd gone into it in a couple of videos that I couldn't quite figure out what it was. And I went into this shift where my, not perception, but my values shifted significantly. And in the middle of that, I had gone shopping with my mom, and I was really run down. I was doing, things for other people, and I got into this in another video, but I'll go into this again. I had gotten into, it was just doing things for other people, and I was putting myself last, completely doing everything backwards. Everything backwards. So I went shopping and I came out of the store with my mom because we were like both really pissed off. We were like, what is the deal? Like, we should be happy. We're successful. We're making more money than we've ever made, ever. We should be happy. We should be celebrating. But our focuses weren't right. We weren't focusing on the right things. So we walk out of the store and I'm like just like scruffing and just like you know what I mean? You ever just get like that where it's just like it seems like everything pisses you off. Well, that was where I was. It seemed like everything was pissing me off. And I get into the car, I'm sitting down, and I couldn't figure out why I was upset. Couldn't figure out why I was upset. And then I was like talking and rambling and muddling, and my mom's like, Brianna, calm down. Brianna, stop. Just stop. Shut up. And I'm over there and I'm like, yelling at myself for being so angry. And she's like, Brianna, shut up and listen to me. I was like, okay, what's up? And so she's like, look in your rearview mirror. So I'm like, okay. So I turned, or it was your side view mirror. She was driving, so she wasn't looking in the rearview mirror. So look in your side view mirror, and kind of tilt your head to my right. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. What? And she was like, it's your G-Wagon. Your G-Wagon is in the parking spot directly behind you. Now, for those of you who don't know, my dream car, it's up here on my vision board. It's a gunmetal gray G-Wagon with black interior. My exact dream car was right behind me, and I didn't even see it. Think about how symbolic that is, guys. Seriously, think about how symbolic that is. I was doing everything backwards. I was putting myself last. I was doing things for other people. I was running around helping people who didn't really care about me. And I was putting myself last. So what needed to shift? What needed to shift was my focus. I needed to start putting myself first. I needed to start putting my team first. I needed to shift my focus so that instead of running away from my dreams, I was running towards them. So, that being said, I apologize for everything that, seemed to be lacking focus. There really was a focus to that. It just didn't come through. And I hope this helps you. So what I challenge you to do now is I challenge you to pick something and focus on it and see if you find it. So in the book, she says focus on a green car, or sunset beige, I think is what she gets into. Whichever you want. Focus on a certain color car. Just keep it in your mind for the next 24 hours. Keep a green car in your mind from seeing this. Count how many green cars you see and then get back to me. And this is Brianna signing out. Oh, and by the way, if you're not on my list yet, get on my list so you can get access to all those secret links. And if you want those secret links, which I have been hiding from you guys, you have to get back to me in an email. So that being said, if you're not on my list, get on my list. You can do that by clicking the link below, entering your email address in, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye guys.